it's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that blade click clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. Ooh. It's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that blade click clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Ooh. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Oh, I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. Friday night fix is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about knives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill and cruise spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Talk about knives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharpened, Friday night. Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. The craft with steady flow, steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Knife flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. Karambit steel, every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juve on streaming, doing the trick.
I missed a little bit, but
Are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke 'em, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Juron's Witness and get high on cigarettes.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
What is up, guys? I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Mikey Bobby 82, what's up? Marco Ye was in the house earlier. So was West B. Brother Joe Isabella will be back. He was here. Good to see all y'all. I've got some cool stuff planned, I think, if I don't get sidetracked, which I will. We got Nick is in the house. What's up, Nick? Mind of Milton's in the house. West B. What's up, guys? Paul Mills, my brother and a channel member. Good to see you, man. We got Chris 229 in the house. A channel member. Good to see you, buddy. I might have missed some of y'all earlier. Knife Nut 69. Channel member, what's up, brother? I won't know if y'all can't hear me till I get to the bottom because I'm trying to go through these names. I was trying to highlight y'all to let you know that I saw you, but I couldn't type because I was clicking on one screen and my chat's on the other. Stephen Parks is in the house. What is up, brother? Y'all say hey to Stephen. Show the love, show the love. I think I'm getting caught up. I think I'm caught up. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Welcome to Friday Night Flicks. Got a few things that I want to go over tonight. I want to talk about, of course, my brick and mortar stories, which will be a regular segment. Now that I'm spending some time down at Knives and More, very interesting. The characters, the questions, the things I see. We'll take our Instagram stroll. I do want to start off with what's new in the I Must Have That week, I'm going to call it. And there's some American Blade Works, DLT, and a really cool fixie I want to show you at River's Edge Cutlery. And then I want to ask and find out kind of what's your most anticipated next knife. Not that you're necessarily getting, but it's coming out because I've kind of been out of the loop. And then we'll finish up with kind of this week in steel lesson. You know, do buyers even give a shit? And I'm going to allude to some of my brick and mortar experiences that kind of tie into that. And how much of the population, I wonder, are on YouTube that are knife people. I can tell you, I'm thinking maybe 3 to 5%. It could be a lot more. But just for the people that I talk to, that I'm kind of polling daily just to see, where they get their information, how they, because there's some really intense people that are into knives, not just cases, but bench spades, microtechs. Um, Huntsville's got a lot of engineers, a lot of NASA people. Hey, Cliff, what's up, brother? And you see all kinds, but these people are definitely knife fanatics. They're there for the same reason. Like they'll come in the store, like, I don't know, I just drove by and I knew I'd have to come in and get something. They're just not buying stuff on the internet. They're buying it at brick and mortars. So I'll share some of that stuff with you because I find it kind of fascinating, especially when it comes to the super steel debate. I love super steels. I don't think we'll ever go away from them. I think they'll only continue to get better because there's a demand for them. But when we talk about steels that really don't have a place anymore, if the market's asking for it, I don't, as someone who's been in sales and I've had these products, I don't know if it's the seller's responsibility to try to change a 60-year-old man's mind who's been sharpening his carbon steel or his whatever, on an Arkansas stone and doesn't want, there's just a lot of variables that I don't think I consider that I'm hearing people tell me because what started that part of the conversation, hey, Metal Relic Art, what's up? Everybody's names are going to be wonky. I've noticed it in a lot of lives. I think YouTube's doing it to try to cut down on fraud. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I hope it goes back. I sent a couple of messages through my instant chat. So that I didn't want it if possible, and it hasn't changed yet. So I think they're using handles. I could be wrong. But what started it is, and I'm going to do a review on this little knife, but Case has come out with 2 S35 VN knives so far. What is up, Angry Tom? Chat next door. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I was trying to read your name. But so they've got this little knife. It's kind of a Barlow. I don't know what it's called. It's got a couple of X's etched on it. It's rich light. And then they've got a Sidebuster Junior, a couple of different variations. And they've got, instead of a nail nick, they've got a little nail pull that goes all the way through the blade. I didn't know this, but I found out that Case, up until they used S35, which was just now, has always stamped their blades. So the shape of the blade, they're stamped out. Boom, boom, boom. And they can't do that with S35V, and that's why they've got the little holes in them. So when people come in, I don't know a lot about traditional knives. When they're talking about them, I always pull those knives out and show them to them and talk to them about S35VN, ask them if they've heard of Chris Reeves. Most of them haven't. Some of them have. And talk about how it's a steel that was developed, blah, blah, blah. Because it's on a case knife. It's the nicest steel you can find on a case. And most of them don't care. They're looking at the handle materials. Most of these knives are going in humidity controlled collections. So I don't know, it's weird. I have a lot of people that come in, hunters, people that are looking for something to address game in the field with. And they're consistently going over to the Buck Slim fixed blades that I had one when I was a kid. I think it's still in my dad's safe, about this long, like a bird and trout, thin blade, 440C, I think. I don't know. One of the new ones, the S35, I don't like them. And I get to look through, like at the store, they're 5 where I do some part-time work. Hey, Sierra Rick, what's up, brother? My food coma's never over, guys. I think I have narcolepsy. I know I have ADHD and I idle at a higher rate, but like I came home, I set up the Rumble stream, did some stuff like that because I stream also on Rumble, did some stuff, went and sat on the couch and dozed for like 30 minutes. I mean, lost like time that I was going to be prepping and doing stuff for the show. So I've slept. I've had people text me, call me and wake me up because I'm a micro sleeper. I don't sleep. I can't like an 8-hour straight through sleep. I sleep in like, if I get 3 hours and consistently, I'll get up. I might I'll be wide awake for a little while. Might make a video and then fall back asleep. It's weird. So I think it's narcolepsy. But food coma is over because I didn't go too hardcore. I actually did. My mom and I did a low key Thanksgiving, so she wasn't going to cook a turkey, and we're not huge, turkey people anyway. So we had some really good homemade gumbo that she makes, and just chilled. It was nice. It was low key. My daughter was with her boyfriend's family, so she didn't come into town. Didn't go hang with our family, my dad's side of the family that's here because he's got having his issues, So I think the last time he went to one of those get-togethers, he almost got in a weird standoff with his brother-in-law, my uncle. He was just smart staring him. I wasn't there, but I heard about it. This is when he still had his car, and kept asking my uncle, why are you looking at me like that? And my dad was kind of getting froggy, they said. Made everybody uncomfortable. I'm glad I wasn't there, but hey. All right, y'all bear with me. I'm going to share the screen for a second because American Blade Works is Michael Martin. Michael Martin is one guy, and he makes the American Blade Works Model 3, which is his new auto in MagnaCut for $299. And then he makes a couple other knives too, but the ones that are in stock, he makes the Model 1 version 7. Now this is a drop point. This is MagnaCut and G10, titanium backspacer, titanium clip. These are $249. The ones I'm going to show you that are in stock are worn clip. So let's get right to it real quick. Share screen, bump, bump, go to DLT. All right. Go away. All right, so we've got two in stock. We've got a G10 Stonewash MagnaCut, and we've got a green canvas micarta. I think the G10 is going to be contoured. I think the micarta is going to be flat. I could be wrong. That looks slightly contoured too. So this is made by one guy in a CNC machine, USA made by hand, and they cost less than $250. An absolutely amazing knife, in my opinion. And this is the Warncliffe, which I really like. This is this blade shape. It's a step milled blade. So the blade's milled by CNC, and it's thinner behind the edge. It's thicker on the spine, but thinner behind the edge than a TRM Neutron. So it's a slicey beast. Liner lock. And the other one that's even more exciting, I don't know if they have one of these, if they have three of these, but the one that's automatic. I'm not a huge automatic guy. I got introduced to this knife at Blade Show. I got to check out the prototype. And it's made by Michael. It's not made by ProTech. The aluminum handles feel different. They feel very good. They feel kind of organic and warm. It has a very snappy action, but it doesn't kick like a mule. So it doesn't feel unlike a ProTech, which I love, or a ZT, which I love. When you open them or you deploy them, they've got a lot of kick. This one opens instantly, but it's coming out without as much thud, which also allows you to one-hand close it. Same thin blade. This is a different blade style. But again, a USA made by one guy, automatic knife for under $300. And they're in stock. So what's up, 1931 Leatherworks? Terry! Who did I miss? Sierra Rick, what's up? So give me a second. I'm going to drop a link in there for you into chat, just in case. And I might as well drop an affiliate link. Hold on. I don't shill, but if somebody who's going to grab one, you might as well use my link. Let's get you on here. I want to show you one more knife that's a fixed blade over at River's Edge Cutlery, but this is the 3 American Blade Works that are in stock: a blue G10, Warncliffe, Model 1 V7, a Model 3, and a Model 1 V7 in micarta. Those two are $250 roughly and $300 roughly for the American. What's up, Deconga Blades? Good to see you, brother. We're just getting into it. We're looking at kind of the cool knives I saw this week that I wish I could grab. And the second one that I saw was at BP Custom Knives, or excuse me, it's a BP Custom knife. It's called the Mini Fuck, F-U-K. Vintage brown linen micarta, blasted M390, 335. These are little handmade custom knives, small batch. I like the blade shape on it. I like the handle. I've never held one, but the Mini Fuck is 6.5 inches, which is perfect for me. That's the size between 6 to 7 inches is kind of perfect. So the Fuck stands out as a truly exceptional creation, combining functionality, style, and ergonomic excellence. And then, quote, I put more thought into this design than any other, says maker and designer Brandon Park. Features M390 steel at 63 HRC for exceptional edge retention, corrosion resistance, and toughness. At 6.5 inches overall, it delivers practical size with serious cutting capability, vintage brown, blah, blah, blah. Comes with a brown leather pouch with a clip from Tailored by Cortez. So we'll go to his Instagram page when we take our stroll down Instagram lane. But Tailored by Cortez, I don't own any of his sheaths, but he makes really nice pocket dropper sheaths that look like this. That's a deep concealment carry clip. And I'm sure this one's a little more basic than some that you can buy from him because it's included with the knife. But to keep it short and sweet, I wanted to show you guys that stuff because it's very, very cool. What's up, Ryan Ellis? Good to see you. Shane, is he in the house? What's up, brother? So I'm going to drop a link for the Mini Fuck in case anybody wants to go get a closer look at it. BP Knives. But I'm going to drop a River affiliate link if I can find my affiliate link generator. If not, I'm going to say fuck it, F-U-K, YouTube Terms of Service, and I'm going to go on. Okay, I can't find it, so I looked for it. We'll go 50-50. I don't see it. Where would it be? Where would it be? Should be at the top. It's not there. All right, we did the best we could, so I'm just going to put the regular link in there. And those where I haven't spent a lot of time on a lot of sites, but when I saw that the Model 1 V7 and the Model 3 had come into stock, I was like, I put it on my posts. I usually don't put posts unless I'm talking about promoting a show that night. But I thought, people need to know because to me, it's such a great deal for an American made knife. I mean, I sell Benchmates for a couple hours a day. It's going to cost me what a bug out costs in S30V. And this is about the size of a PM2, handmade, on bearings, Magna Cut. Just a perfect knife, in my opinion, as it were. I stand with this knife. I stand with everything American Blade Works is doing because I think this is a very unique, original design that kind of takes his Model 3 and ramps it up a little bit and makes a really nice auto. There you go, Shane. Shane. I know y'all probably aren't up for it, but you and brother Ryan both have the links in our group chat on Instagram. If you want to jump up, love to see you. If not, I totally get it. So what I carry today is something I traded for with my buddy A to Z EDC, my local buddy. Bought this on Blade Bench. And he never liked my Strider, so he wasn't that crazy about this. And yes, it's a pocket eating motherfucker. It is double frag. This is a Dwyer BB NM in SLD Magic San Mai. There's Dwyer's name. I did an iPhone update today to 26, their new operating system that changes a bunch of shit, but it made my camera better. I don't feel like I'm limited by StreamYard as much. So this guy, kind of like the Curtis, the Dwyers are a little different than the Striders. The blade's a clip point, which you can get in Strider, and the Strider's a drop point. The tail is a little bit different, but they're very similar. I wasn't sure how good this one was going to be. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a dark vein running down that spine. See that? That dark vein running down the center of the spine? That is the core. That is the core material of this knife. And this knife is done very well. It's not cheap. They've got some in stock. The 3Vs are sold out. So they've only got the ones with this SLD Magic, which is a Japanese kitchen steel that they do some kind of Japanese wrap with. I don't get it. But you can get this with carbon fiber. They've got a really cool Joker pattern. They're in about the 320 to 360 range. Where a USA made Strider, we've got one that's a double gunner grip, G10 on one side, titanium gunner on the other side, and Magna Cut that's $900 at Knives and More for a Strider. So it's not as inexpensive as an Effin Grow, but it's legit, in my opinion. Since it's a licensed design, it's not maybe optimal, but it's legit. So I think this is very cool. I have talked to people because I've never experienced a Curtis knife. This is the Tuya's production model that Curtis went to and wanted to do this F3 medium slicer. And I've heard it does not feel that Curtis's have a kind of a distinctive feel to them. And the person, Tate down at Knives and More, says this knife feels better. It feels more well engineered, maybe, or put together better, but it doesn't feel like a legitimate Curtis. And again, I've hoped to experience one day. But this knife, I want to say, is like $299. If you use my code, you save like 10%. And it's in M390 titanium. Got a 3-piece pivot. I think I know they have some that have different colored pivots here. I don't know if they're going to be selling those. But to me, it's built in the fashion of a USA made knife because the scales are pretty flat. It doesn't look all fruit out. Again, unlike the Dwyer, I don't have a Curtis to compare it to, but I can tell you I like this knife very much. It's got a wonderful deep carry clip. And it's got killer jimping. Very cool knife. And then yesterday I carried this around on Thanksgiving. This was my Thanksgiving knife. I love it. I apologize, Shane. I apologize, Kyle. Y'all are going to have to probably come race to my house when I kick the oxygen habit. It's in the smallest of my cases. It's in my Carol case. And whoever gets it needs to take care of Tippy. And Tippy, if she's still around, it'll probably just be Puck if he hadn't run off with a stripper. He's got a bad habit of needing his nuts cut off. He'll run and roam for 48 hours straight. Come back, not looking like he's been fighting, but looking tired. I mean, he's right now crashed right behind me. But this is just such a good specimen. If anybody's in the market for a Koenig mini, what the fuck's it called? The mini, not an Arius, the other knife that they make. Koenig makes another knife, and they're in stock. Hey, what is up? Dilemma and trauma. But this is a great one because we're going to talk about knives that you guys are excited about. Because again, I'm out of the loop. This one here, I've got to work on the sheath with the lighter because the retention is kind of shitty. But this is a knife that Concept sent me. I asked for it. I think it's called the, we'll go to its website. I put this Ulti-Clip on it. But it's less than $50. It's D2 and G10, but it's thin. The handles are thinner than the steel. Very slicey, minimalistic, and I think a good entry into somebody who wants a medium-sized EDC fixed blade and doesn't want to spend a lot of money. Now, what I don't like about it is the retention feels a little wonky. I could shake this knife out. I took my lighter and I heated it up back here and right here and tried to do a little squeeze. Plus, I screwed these screws down pretty tight. I think I could form it even a little tighter, but I like my sheaths to pop off and go flying. This one's kind of like a blah, blah. So the sheath probably gets a 5. The knife, I wish it wasn't in D2, but I'm going to sharpen it. I'm going to put this one through some paces, cut some wood with it. It might be just fine. But I think it's $49.95 and it's Concept, not Tenable. Then I've got a review coming out on this little guy. I finally got to it. Really like this little knife. It's the Orthodox V2. The V1 had kind of a teardrop handle. This is more of a gun stock handle. And the blade, here's a hollow grind where the V1 was flat. This is just a slicey knife. I wouldn't shave with it, even though it's styled after a razor. But to break down hundreds of feet of cardboard, I think it uses that AARPM 9 or whatever the fuck, FUK, YouTube Terms of Service. But it's got a great forward finger choil, full-size knife, big old guy. Hurts my shoulder. I got to move this. All right. Get back to show and tell. This is still my favorite knife. Not my most expensive knife. Not if I had to just keep one knife, would I necessarily keep this one? I know it's hard to replace, but in terms of a joy to carry, a joy to deploy, a joy to cut with, this is my Liang Ma Field Duty EDC. It's in G10. It's the basic bitch model, which at the time I think was around $300. It's an LMAX. It's got perfect detent. It's got a really nice sound because it's got a unibody construction where no backspacer here, but the G10 is milled out this whole side and back, and that attaches to the titanium frame lock side. Got a great clip. and it's just perfect for my hand. I've had this knife for probably going on 5 years, and it's still nothing's taken its place. There are knives I love, like the Lamia. I love my Lamia more, probably because it costs me a lot more and it's more rare. But I carry this. This is my go-to number one knife for using every day. It's just fantastic. I wish he'd re-release this. I talked to Leon, and he's gonna early 2026 join me on a Friday Night Flicks, and I'm gonna ask him. We're gonna talk about, some of the things that he's bringing back versus some of the things that he's not, or he hasn't yet, and find out what's on the plan. Because I'd love to see this knife come back. I think he could sell them out. It's so good. He could even do it in MagnaCut or something different if he wanted to. I would not want him to change the detent at all. I would want him to keep the frame lock, not do anything crazy like the liner lock. I know, Ryan, you'd have to get in line, buddy. So, but Ryan knows how to get here, and don't go through the cemetery, because Shane will still go through the cemetery. His GPS will lead him and he'll forget. If you don't go through the cemetery, you can probably beat him here. And just come through the window. Either one of the windows on the porch are always unlocked. So just throw it up, climb in. If I'm laying there, surely they would have removed my body if I pass away, but it's in the green small box, and y'all are welcome to it. First come, first serve. If I decide to sell it, which who knows what's going to happen with me. I may be in a position where I have to, but I'll let y'all know. But I love that knife. Homer Felites, what is up? Snow? See, I know y'all hate snow up there. That kind of excites me. Because it gets that scared turtle syndrome. It's got the scared turtle syndrome. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, real quick, is take us down a quick Instagram stroll. Because I saw that Brother Richard Hopkins is at a new campsite. Don't do that. Javon has an intruder deleter. All y'all are, right? I think almost everybody has a wrench. Winter is the devil. In Alabama, where I am, it's cold. And right now my heat's fucked up. I've got to call my landlord. So it's really cold in my house. That's why I'm wearing a little hat and this sweatshirt, because I'm kind of freezing. But it's just the price I pay. But winter sucks. I like snow because we don't get snow that much. And snowing here, if we get an inch, it shuts the city down. So it makes everything real quiet, and you fuck with less people. And to me, that's a positive. So there's just a lot about snow that I can get behind. Now, when I lived in Boulder, Colorado, and the snow plows would come by and I'd be parked on the street because I hadn't lived in Boulder, Colorado for winters, and I didn't know you move your car off the street or it'll get plowed in. Those were brutal. And that's where I got my first real job outside of being a musician, and took a job at a Honda, Subaru, GMC dealer. I was selling cars, and I was on a lot in Boulder, Colorado, about 30 miles south of Cheyenne, Wyoming. So we get a lot of truck buyers that came down, but we got a lot of snowstorms because we were at the foothills of the Rockies. And when we did, in the car business, it doesn't shut down. If you picture 12 inches of snow in a lot, what we would have to do is we would have to go out, all the car salesmen, and we would have to one by one clean the front lot by moving the cars from the front of the store to back of the store where the body shop was, and parking them, leave the keys in them. And then those big yellow four-wheel things with the shovel that scoop snow would come and just scrape the lot clean. And he would have big piles of snow in like 4 places around the lot. And then we'd have to move the cars back. And that was a 7-hour exercise. It was cold, it was windy, and it sucked. It sucked so bad that I'd been there it was my first winter there. I stayed there about 2.5 years before I moved, but it was my first winter there. And this when the Prelude SI four-wheel steering came out. Y'all are probably too young to remember that car. It was a car that dealers couldn't get. We had one that was white. We dealer traded a car dealer in Denver because they needed one of our Honda Civic VXs, which at the time was a fuel liter. It got 44 miles per gallon. This was long before hybrids. So we had it there, and we had it pulled up. If y'all have seen showrooms, they've got the lot with all the cars, and then they've got ramps that go up a lot of times, and a place where you can park like 4 or 5 cars around the raised area where people walk into the showroom. Well, this Prelude four-wheel steering was parked out there kind of at an angle, and it was right. The tower is where the managers desk the deal. So when you're in the car dealership and the salesperson runs off and there are a bunch of people sitting there by a board with numbers written on it, how many sales they've got, that's what they call the tower. Well, their backs were to that window where the cars were, and they were facing towards the showroom. Well, we were moving cars, and it was time to move the Prelude four-wheel steer. And I jumped my little 5'6" ass in there, put it in gear, and I had to back it down the ramp. So it was kind of around a corner and down the ramp. And then I was just going to keep it straight and back it to the back of the lot, leave it in park because they were going to clean that by hand in a snowblower eater thing that they push like a lawnmower. And I was going to pull it back up. Well, four-wheel steer's different than front-wheel steer. It turns at a tighter radius. So I had it turned. I was going to back around to the left like this. Like, ooh. Well, I'm backing down, hit ice before I got to the ramp, and it kicked the whole back end of the car into the corner of the building, the tower. So not only did it make a horrible crunching sound, I stopped, put it in drive forward, pulled forward, and it scratched it while I was pulling back off the wall. Well, the wall was where I had a finance manager and 2 sales manager and a general manager sitting that would just flip the fuck out. So I had to get out, go in. They were calling me Green Pea anyway because I was new in the car business, and that's what they call you. What's up, Maddie? But that was one of my most embarrassing times. But snow and winter in Boulder, Colorado was brutal. The first time we got a lot of snow and I'd parked on the street, when the snowplow came by, it put snow up. I had a 1982 Honda Accord, and the snow was up to the top of the door, and it was probably 2 feet thick, and it had turned to ice by then. So my car had to thaw out for like 2 weeks before I could even get to it and open the door. It was brutal because I learned that lesson. But I feel bad for people who are who struggle with cold weather. I feel bad for people that struggle with super hot weather. I used to spend my summers in Cocoa Beach, Florida, outside of Orlando on the beach on the Atlantic side. And it was brutal hot, man. I mean, that's when I first started skateboarding in 1976. And literally, our skateboard wheels would get squishy and deformed because the streets were so hot. Because the streets down there in Cocoa Beach were like asphalt and shells and weird shit. And the sun just beat on it constantly. It was real black. It was real dark, so it absorbed heat. But it was brutal. All right. So we've done the what I must have week, which is what I showed you at DLT and at Rivers Edge Cutlery. What I want to know, just from whoever wants to throw it in there, what's up, Cat Scratch Knives? Welcome, brother. What I want to know from anybody who wants to participate is what is the knife, whether you're planning on buying it or not, that you're excited about, or a knife that's caught your attention. I've not been, since I haven't been buying knives, I've not been that plugged in to the hype knives, things that are happening. I'm just curious what you guys are excited about. I'm trying to think. There's something I saw that I thought was really cool. It was a Chavez something. Was it a Chavez out the front? I can't remember. It might have been a Chavez out the front that looked interesting. A new red sack knife with the pocket clip and scissors. I don't know what that is, but I want to look because that's why I want to do this exercise. Is that the Swiss Champ by Victorinox? A hawk talon. I know what that is. Someday, yeah. I mean, that's the knife to get excited about too. It is beautiful. I've seen them. I've held them. I think the Deadlock's fantastic. I told everybody the story here about the release. Since I'm in the brick and mortar business, there are news flashes and stuff that talk about the difference in the Generation 3, Microtech, Ultratech, which this one is. This one has the zero blade play, the one that Gavin at Hawk Knives sued Microtech over. This has zero blade play. Well, the Gen 4 is coming out, just came out. And on Microtech's page, they talk about it. One of the advantages of the Gen 4, they talk about the Gen 3 advantage is the introduction of zero blade play. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. There's no movement in the blade, which there's not. It's just they talk about it for a paragraph. And then in the next paragraph, they talk about Gen 4 and they say discontinued zero blade play to keep the price of the knife lower for the consumer. Well, if there was any reason except the judge slapping them, they could offer an Ultratech without zero blade play for that $299 price point. But why would you take out a feature that you spent 80% of the space of what's new in Gen 3 talking about the greatness of zero blade play? So that's my Hawk story that just came from a squirrel brain when you said you're loving the Hawk Talon. This is a great knife, by the way, and you can still find them in stock. The Gen 3 zero blade plays. The action is probably the easiest to deploy for me, and it actually has no blade play at all. It's amazing. It uses regular Torx bits, doesn't have proprietary hardware, and it has a nice ceramic ball on the clip, on that titanium clip. And I have a feeling, I'm not a speculative guy, but I have a feeling that these will hold their value since they're going away and there will be no more. Some other cool news, not cool news, but worthy of sharing the screen. This is a knife I bought at Blade Show. One of two knives that I bought at Blade Show. I bought this and I bought a Tempest or a Tenable Par, that little fixed blade. But this is the TRM Tagalong. It's their small little EDC fixed blade, little 3-finger knife. This one is in, I think, PMB 53, some weird like powder metallurgy type of D2 steel I've never heard of. Well, now they're making it in MagnaCut, and they just had a drop. And as of today, they were in stock. So they come with a little leather sheath with the Ulti-Clip already on it. So we're going to take a trip over to TRM real quick. They gave me a code. I don't have an affiliate link with them, but they gave me a code that I think might save you guys cash. And I need to give that code out. I need to look at it, though, to make sure I get it right. I think it's Javon 10, but it may just be Javon. All right, so if we go to shop and go to knives, and go to shop all. Here's the Tagalong fixed blade. So that one's in camo carbon fiber. You can get a pancake sheath, which that one's the one I wish I'd gotten because it's kind of like the stitching goes all the way around it. I carry my knife in my back pocket. I got a taco sheath at Blade Show because that's all they had, which works fine. But the pancake sheath, which doesn't cost you any more money, is if you're going to carry it in your back pocket, I think it's the way to go. But you can get micarta. It takes it down to $169. That's the fixed blade in MagnaCut, contoured, smooth micarta. You can do double black is in stock. That's micarta. You can go carbon fiber. That's $209. That's just the regular carbon fiber. Or you can get really bougie and go with the camo carbon 80s. Throws it up to $229. I personally like the micarta. I think mine's blue denim for $169, and that's Magna Cut. The blade's 2 7/16. Overall length is under 6 inches, weighs 1.85 ounces, under 4 with the sheath. It's cool, guys. It's a 3-finger knife, but it's completely made in the USA. I'm going to drop, I think if I take this tag off, let's see what happens. I go enter. Oh. Yep, I'm going to drop this in for y'all to look at if y'all are interested in it. It's one that hasn't been in stock for a while, but it's in stock. I got a space heater running right now, my friend. It's a small one. What's up, all caps? Hey now, steal your face right off your head. I love seeing your avatar. I'm a huge Deadhead, dude. I did 63 shows with Jerry alive. I didn't go to Dead and Company once, but I like them. Brashear Bear, what's up, my man? So the other thing I wanted to show you, very cool. And I recommend the taco or the pancake sheath over the taco for me personally. You can see the difference. I guess that's a slimmer sheath. If you're going to carry it in your front pocket, maybe that would make more sense. If you're going to carry it in your back pocket, I would say pancake all the way. But it's just a cool little knife. Handy. It's got a nice little drop point, nice little belly. Kind of like Puck's belly. But then if we go back here, the Neutron liner lock, the Bulldog Revision B. I think all of these, let's see what's in stock. I think, are these all in stock? All right, so Neutrons are in stock. Let's see if they've got these in my card. Nope, they just got it in the camo carbon. So it's $294, the one that's left. That's a liner lock Neutron. The Bulldogs, that's a lefty. Oh, the clip, because it's clip side. All right, let's see what we got here. So there's some lefty Bulldogs, which are just the clip because it's not a reversible clip. It's an ambidextrous river lock. Titanium Bulldogs. Let's see if there are any of those in. Yep, there's some Thai Bulldogs there. Adams. There's 3D carbon fiber for under 300. They don't have these, but like it brings it down to 260 if you can find micarta. And sometimes they'll sell these naked with no scales. And what's cool about that is you can buy scales, the scales that you want, and you can just put them on with taking off 2 screws. You don't even have to take your pivot off. So that's the frame lock. It is in stock. It looks like just the fancy one with Mokame 3D. Camo carbon is left for $350. And then they make this little thing, the TRM Javelin. It's just a little titanium, not something you could sharpen or resharpen, but it's definitely something that you could, if somebody came a creeping, you could leave their ass a leaking. It's really light. I played with one at Blade Show, but it's just a push any type of thing. It's not for cutting maters. They're $135. They're in stock. And then the red line of the Holier Nerds in stock, but it looks like just the nicer ones are in stock. And then finally, the TRM Redline Fixie is in stock as well. This is a great camp knife, a great full-size knife. Some really thick stock on this 20 CV blade, but it comes down to a real, it almost reminds me of a big kitchen knife. Handle's really ergonomic, but TRM's killing it. Mine sit in the case, but I've been making myself carry them. This one is one of my most carried fixed blades. I carry this in my back pocket quite a bit. Today I carry this one quite a bit too. I carry this knife. That's my Big Idea Design Company. USA made Lookout in Magna Cut. A great little knife. Light, small, and it's got a really cool clip. It comes with two sheaths, a right hand and a left hand, and it's got this titanium clip because Big Idea Design Company, you know, makes a lot of tie products. So this clip can be removed with T8s and put on either sheath right in the center, and it carries deep. So it stops right here, and you've got a good bit of your handle buried. It's great for concealment. It makes it tricky, especially if you carry it in your ass pocket, of putting it back in there without stabbing yourself. But hey, it's the price we pay. And then I got a blim sent to me from my buddies at TKL of the new Piranha, which mine has somebody's initials on it. And it's got some decarb right here. But they've added jimping. They've added the availability of the extended handles. You can buy aluminum handles that have these two screws, and then it extends back to about where my finger is. And the handle's thicker, so it comes together, and it's got one more bolt, so you can get a full 4-finger grip on it. And then they make a ring handle. Just a great small EDC knife. I really enjoyed carrying it. I carry it on my belt. I wear a tactical gun belt because since I've been working down there, I carry my Freedom Pill dispenser. It's part of my EDC now, and I carry that appendix. But I just put that on my belt and carry it horizontal. Richard Hopkins, we were getting ready to go look at your pictures from today. Good to see you, brother. The Roman Gnome is in the house. Geek Machinist, what's up, channel member? Both of y'all. Good to see y'all, guys. I'm missing people coming in, but I apologize. I do apologize. And then I got to give major love to Kaiser, because this little drop bear fixed blade has always been, I think, a cool knife because it's so small. It's got the tweezers and the toothpick, which don't excite me, but it's got jimping right here. So it's got a dedicated forward finger choil. This is kind of one of the higher end ones that I think is right around $120. And it uses this company called Noroplast, I think, something like that. But it's Ultra X micarta. It's a kind of a really nice micarta. And this blade's in S45. Very sharp. Very carryable. And then I've got this is also that Ultra X micarta. This is a spear point / drop point drop bear in 14C. It has that same Ultra X micarta, but this is like a vintage caramel micarta. So this is smooth, and it actually looks like caramel. Gorgeous. And this one's 14C, so this will be well under $80. And they're small. They're just great little knives. I've been carrying them quite a bit. Since I got my budge, I've been carrying my old prick. This knife is so slicey. It's in 42-100 carbon tool steel, micarta handle, 3-finger knife, is thin as a kitchen knife. Just an absolute shredder. But it hooks right over the hem on my back pocket, and I don't even know it's there because it doesn't even touch the bottom of my pocket. I'm going to make a video tonight or tomorrow night. I've got the knives out of the top knives that I can't carry. They're fixed blades. I can't carry them in my back pocket because they bottom out. So they're too long for the clip to catch my hem. So they're in my right pocket. Don't carry a folder today. Do it. Do it. Dab them if you got them. Get your dab pen going. 20 miles from Florida. That's going to take us to the part of the show which I call the Instagram stroll. So we're going to start off with Richard's Roman gnome trip. First of all, I put this out, and I don't think anybody's answered it yet. Does anybody know what this knife is? In the chat? Does anybody know what knife that is? And I'll tell you a story. Morning Glory. The hardware, I don't think I can zoom on it. The hardware has 3 little holes, like a spanner bit, but it's 3 kind of in a triangle. Not a Hogue, Maddie, but you're close. It is a 2003 Microtech. I forget the name of it. Online, they're going from between 6 and 9. And Tate bought that off a customer day before yesterday for 200 bones, because that's what the customer wanted for it. And we didn't know what it was worth at the time. So he's hanging on to it to see if it's legit. And we know it's legit in terms of a legit Microtech, but if it turns up where it wasn't acquired legitimately. Paul, your Predator is one of the most beautiful knives out there. We'll look at that here in a second. But what I wanted to do was, these are just some of my posts. I've been posting a lot of stuff at Knives and More. This is a Microsoft or Microtech Glycon bayonet, top serrate, which is really nasty. It's a nasty, nasty grind. The Signature Series with titanium, just a beautiful knife. You can kind of see where the ram lock got its start, because this one you can pull it back or fire it from the side or from the top. And let's see. SOCOM Elite, a knife ruined by its fucked up clip. I'll just leave it at that. These are the cases, the S35VN cases that somebody was saying they were having a shitty time with. That's Puck sleeping where I make my videos. I have to sweep them and blow them with compressed air now. New Benchmade slip joints. A Bodacious next to a Shaman. I still like the Shaman better. That's me. A Dwyer. Driver Defense, Dustin Driver knife. Handmade knife. Done very well. Made right here in North Alabama. Now I'm going to go to the home feed. Womp womp. And I'm going to type. So this is the Roman Gnomes' latest part of the world that they're visiting. They have literally been just traveling around, I guess, the Southeast, the East Coast, living it right, the way it should be lived, enjoying it from this killer mobile cruiser that has a Starlink internet system hooked into it. Richard's probably connected faster than any of us. Here's the Starlink. That's the Starlink satellite tracker. But that's Montesano Mountain. That's the about 800 feet higher than I am. I'm in the valley, but I'm about 6 minutes from that. One of our Alabama state parks called Monte Sano. And that is my yard. And that is me and the boys, not to dox them. But anyway, I've been following Richard's adventures, and I'm very envious. There's a killer transparent knives regrind from Brian. It looks like they got a bunch of those little watermelons. I've got one of those knives, a little watermelon one. I never do anything with it. Add, what's that, a Prince Custom? What is that? Kunwu. It looks like a Prince Custom. How to Catch a Mountain Lion, blah, blah, blah. HX Outdoors. I reviewed a fixed blade for them about a month ago that I really, really liked. And now they're coming out with just all kinds of shit. Very good knife company. Having a Black Friday sale. We'll have to go check that website out and see if they've got anything in stock. Ads. Flissa, that's a bargain knife, kind of a Amazon brand. That's the monkey that got this guy's gun. Check this shit out. That's gangsta. Gangsta. Emerson. With a wave that I've never liked. You pull it out of your pocket and that wave catches it and opens it. Flissa, I don't know what, that's kind of ads. I don't know why I know why I get the lighting stuff. I don't know why I get these motivational things. Who's this? Mayberry Customs. Again, a knife company that's probably very similar to some of the other really nice American companies that I'm not aware of. Never experienced, but that looks like a pretty knife. Serbius knives. Yeah. And we're not going to stay here long. Another HX Outdoors. I mean, they're throwing up tons of different designs. A little gangster squirrel. That's a good knife for scab. Torian. AI. Brant. What's that? Goondocks has got there. Anyways, the Defiant Talus. That's a really cool design. I think it's a Les George design. Used to be offered by Spartan, their work series. And I guess it's a Defiant design. They've got a button lock version of it. That's American made. But I've had a knife that's that same shape. A really cool knife. I gave it away on one of the giveaways. One of y'all won it. Love them knives. Don't know what that is. Riot. Alvin Knives Design. Not familiar with that. See, new knives that have come out. Look at that gangster squirrel. Getting some head. What we got there? Latest and greatest from Alex Steingraber. That's an SPK. The new yep. I didn't know that was a thing. I had no idea. the Hadouken. Excited to carry this one for the very first batch and put it to the test. So my Lamia and the SPK Shark, which was a fixed blade, I think were Alex's only two designs. And it looks like that lock bar's got some technology going on there. But that's a very thin blade, kind of a sexy, understated, elegant knife. I get Shiro vibes off it. Weird shit. What's this? I get a lot of animal shit because I'll pause on it. I also get a lot of race stuff because I get kind of a seizure watching his clip shots. And so I pause on them. See, I've never heard of Molasect. I've never heard of these brands. Spartan Harsey. I'm going to go about 5 more pictures, then we're done. Squirrel wanted to get some more rubbing. Joey Roman makes some cool knives. I've got one of his knives, a little chisel grind. But he's a very economical custom maker. He does drops all the time. If you're not following him on Instagram and you like little fixed blades, I'm going to drop him in the chat. Molasect Knives is a sister company of Echo. Who's Echo? Why don't I know these people anymore? I like the Lamia better too, Paul, but we might like that one if we handled it, you know? What's up, Rody? Who else have I missed? Dr. Drew Dude's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I don't see you guys when I'm over here showing, so I'm going to show a couple more and then we're going to get out of here. Let me drop Joey into chat. Go follow him on Instagram because he makes cool little fixies. And bigger size fixies. So go back to home. Boom. Christmas Kaiser. I've got that one. I can't show it till December 1st. But that's a top liner lock. Sheepdog. Utility knife. That's a Christmas knife. I didn't get that one. That's a original too, I think. It's 2 cats fighting over a mouse. Gentry Custom Knives. He makes beautiful knives. Those aren't my favorites. The one that I really like, they have it either DLT or River's Edge, but he makes beautiful knives. Expensive knives. Like $400 knives. All right, we're almost done. Laconico. What you got going there? Why'd you... New Tanto CG with satin blade. Pretty sexy. I know Kyle would like that. He's a Laconico fan. All right. I've got a review coming on that. It's an O knife. It's called the Aeon. Look how thin that profile is. It's a great gentleman's folder, reversible clip. I hate the branding, but it's 14C. It reminds me of a better version of the CRKT CEO. It's an OTEP Hell design. Review coming soon. See what else we got. American Blade Works, little slip joint. And what's the other one? Is the other one Chris Reeves? Desk or nope. cool pictures. I really envy people who can take pictures that look so good. Yeah, D Rocket, not a big fan. His stuff's a little weird. All right, we're done. You get down, and after you've looked at knives for a while, you start getting inundated with ads and stupid shit. All right. So I'm going to go back up in the chat and see if y'all threw any knives out there that I've not heard about that y'all are excited about. I saw that Devo released the big, what's it called? Growler. Hit the like button. Yeah, do hit the like button. That's always nice. That's always nice. Stroke it. Stroke it like you'd want to be stroked. It's about 32 here too. And my heat's all fucked up, like not working. My little space heater, my electric blanket over on the couch where I sit is just kicking. The Mantis is fantastic, Richard. I think I didn't do a review on the Mantis. The Falcon is the one that TRM retailer Lone Star Knife is supply. They have some cool TRM knives that aren't on the TRM site. Correct. And so does River's Edge Cutlery has a bunch too. I was going to say there are a lot of retailers now online that carry it. And I will give you guys a code if you buy anything off TRM site, and we'll go try it. We'll see what it does. Because again, it's not an affiliate link. It's just a code. See what it does. Go to my links. And this is all on my beacons. So this code is in that thing if you scan it on the screen, or if you Three Rivers Manufacturing, save 10% at checkout. Javon 10. So if y'all remember Lefty 10, the code that was heard around the world. So if we go to TRM, and again, there are a lot of retailers that have their knives, but let's say we add this to our cart. We go to checkout. And let's put in Javon 10. Uh-oh. I think it may just be Javon. Hold on. That's not good. Uh-oh. Maybe it's cap sensitive. Yeah, it's got to be all capital letters. Javon 10, and you'll save 10%. I dox myself too. So there you go, guys. Javon 10 does work on TRM site. Let's remove this bitch. So you just go to their site any way you want to go there. And then if you buy something there, put in just like that. Some are cap sensitive, some aren't. That's kind of frustrating. Are you talking about the one, the less Georgie one? Dr. Drew Dude, you listen, my brother. I think I've come up high. Let's see where we are. Where are we? I need to get myself a shaman one of these days. Paul, they're good. And I would suggest, if you get a chance, look at the Bodacious too. The Bodacious has more cutting area. A lot of people like the Bodacious better. I don't personally. Shane, I hope he comes up on the live. I hope Ron comes up. I hope Kyle joins us, because we do have our I'd love for Kyle to be here when we talk about this week in steel lessons. Do buyers even give a shit? my Knives and More experience. So we've done our Instagram stroll. I'm going to tell my brick and mortar stories here shortly. Okay. I got you. Richard, now I remember, I was going through your knives so quick, I didn't get to enjoy them. Yeah, Paul, that's a code that's only helps you guys. My relationship with TRM and with TKL and with EMP EDC, I do not accept commissions from them. I want them to roll it back into the business. Yep. Custom Knife Factory. I knew what you meant. I'll tell you what we've got, Rhodey, down at Knives and More. We've got 2. They were traded by the same guy, never been cut with. 2 black Salt Series, a PM2 and a matching PM3, solid black, Magna Cut black blades, just gorgeous little knives. And they're not that expensive. But they don't look like Salt Series knives. I guess the grips do, because the grips are a little different. Let me see if I can show it to you. I've got a picture of those. I'm surprised they're still there. I'm surprised that Sage 6 is still there. We had 2. One of them is gone. I don't know if I showed y'all this picture. Those of you that weren't here Tuesday didn't see it, so I'll show it again. YouTube terms of service. Can anybody guess what happened there? Anybody? That's one of my brick and mortar knife stories. I was going to grab a Microtech out of a very, very crowded cabinet, and a Microtech that was right by the little sliding door, like it's a jewelry cabinet, came flying out. And I wasn't trying to stop it from hitting the hardwood. It was just like a involuntary reflex to try to stop it with my shoe. And the fucker stabbed me right in the goddamn ankle. I bled like a stuck pig. It's not a very deep cut, but it was just a stab right on that. It sucked. It really did suck. But I want to show you these, not my gory ankle, but I want to show you these salts. Here we go. Share screen. Instagram. I think those are pretty sexy. G10. I do scale swaps on them, of course. But that is a North Mountain Blades Chop 4 my buddy A to Z had. That's how I found out about them, and then found that Dwyer. But that knife is Desert Ironwood, that SLD Magic titanium liners and titanium frame lock, internal, or whatever you call it, behind the scale. And that thing's $160. I didn't know this knife existed. This is the SE Cincillo. It's a little bit smaller than an SE3, but it's got a taller, flatter, thinner blade. It's more slicey. I really like that. We've got 3 of them. But it's a sweet fixie. That's an old one. I don't know the significance of it. 2002 940 BK. I don't know if that was somebody's. I need to learn about Benchmades, and I need to learn a lot about traditionals. That's a handmade traditional from a guy in Rogersville, Alabama. That is an automatic mini Adamas that I really like. That's just a really weird case with a shitload of stuff going on with it. It's a busy case. But a lot of this stuff, like they've got 2 of these. This is a Benchmade Nakamura. This is like number 180 out of 500, first edition. But they have 2 of these knives. I've never seen one. And I'm told they're not that rare. But we've got 2 in old little squirrely blue boxes. Kind of a cool little Bark River knife, the Little Creek 2. I'm really digging these traditional Italian and German lever action and stiletto style switchblades. My audience doesn't. I did a video on it. It's got less than 100 views. So that's kind of told me that they don't care. And I get it. But yeah, that's kind of a walk down the brick and mortar week. I had a thing happen that was bizarre on Monday afternoon, Monday night, probably about 5 o'clock. We closed at 6. And it's never really super crowded in there, right? Because it's a little destination. So it's rare that you've got more people than you've got working there. There are usually 2 or 3 of us there. Well, one lady came in. She probably was 30, maybe in her late 20s. And she had on a leopard. It was kind of cold. She had on a leopard skin overcoat, a leopard skin hat. So she looked kind of affluent, and she kind of talked affluent, but she was looking for her first pocket knife. So I didn't know where it was going to go. So I started asking her what she cut. She didn't know. She thought, boxes and stuff like that. So the first thing I think of is what's going to be easy for somebody to deploy. So I handed her an axis lock and was talking to her about it, showing her how it worked. And then she told me, well, I'm left-handed. And so I'm thinking, oh God, this lady's never opened these knives. She doesn't have a clip to hold on to. I'm not going to switch these clips. What's going to happen here? And for about 45 minutes, I stood there, and every time she would close, I was like, no, you can't have your fingers there. She would have her fingers like wrapped around the channel where the blade goes, trying to close it. She ended up buying a M-Tech, but she walked out with a knife, and I'm sure she's cut herself at least 10 times. We don't have cane swords, but we got big ass swords. And I'll tell you what we got down there that are pretty wicked are samurai swords. They're very sharp. Where our, I guess you'd call them gladiator knight type swords aren't sharp. Pocket Privilege, what is up, brother? I'm glad you made it, man. We're just gonna keep rolling. You'll notice if you come to my lives that I rarely have an agenda. I do today. I actually have notes. Well, it didn't hit the ground, so I did save the tip. And hindsight being 2020, even though it wasn't my knife, the cut was not that bad. I would probably have done it again. It could have been really shitty. Last week, the guy I work with, one of the owners was reaching in to get something out of one of the cases, and one of those Italian switchblades were laying in there because they're all under the glass open. And his finger, when he went in, that switchblade got him right between the fingers, and he squirted. But they've got new skin there. They've got tons of Band-Aids. I mean, you'd be surprised all the shit they've got there. Little butterfly Band-Aids, which tells me when I'm looking through that shit, they've had a lot of knife incidents. But you're going to. I mean, it's just a numbers game. If you open and close knives and handle knives that often, and what I do down there is I make content a good part of the time when people aren't there. So I'm carrying knives all around the store. It's nuts. Got in a bunch of cold steel today. They just picked up Flytanium. So they've got Flytanium scales. The Arcade. They've got a Flytanium knife that I didn't know existed called the Beef. And it's like a $60 knife. Looks totally different than anything I've ever seen, but it's got a crossbar lock. Flytanium Beef. I'll probably bring it home and do a review on it just because it's a budget knife that I think looks cool. Show it to you. Like to hear it go. again, I'm not crazy about the Axis lock, but it's $60. It's got a really nice blade, really good action. It's beefy. That's why I call it the beef. And it's $60. I did not know it existed until I saw it show up. Yeah, if it's a black salt, I thought that was weird too. But you see a lot of weird stuff down there. One of the things we got is a small rock eye, which is a knife I've always liked. And I showed this to a customer and they did not like it. But I love this little small rock eye with the Mexican G10. It looks like Mexican blanket micarta, but it's Mexican blanket G10 on the show side. Let me find that little bitch and share it with you. Just came in, so it's here somewhere. There it is. This little knife, I like the full size. I like the way it looks. It's a Les George design. I like the way it kicks. It kicks like a mule. This little guy's small, but it's got a pearl eyes button, and it's got that Mexican blanket show side aluminum back S35 VN. Just a little chode. So yeah, the cool thing is when we finish up talking about brick and mortar, I love hanging around a knife store for 4 hours a day. I'm trying to not let it get not fresh. You know, I like turnover. I like seeing us trade for stuff, cool stuff, and we do. And I feel like, not that I've taken pictures of everything in there, but I've seen everything. So, you know, because I'm in there for 4 hours looking at all of it, trying to decide what to look at, what to try to figure out and learn about. And what I'm trying to learn about, and I got a cheat sheet, I put it in my bag, is slip joints, specifically case knives, the different patterns, the different, and there's so many. And they've got their code system. My cheat sheet little card I've got that goes in your wallet tells you what all the numbers mean on the little number that's on the blade. But we have a shit ton of case knives. And then we've got one cabinet that has them from 1949 to 1969, like new in box, that have come from estate sales. This store's been in business for 21 years, going on 22 years, in the same location. They've actually been in 3 suites, but they've been in the same building. This is a strip mall. They've just moved to bigger buildings or bigger suites. But it's John, the guy that does most of the estate buying. People come from Chicago. People come from New York. People come from Atlanta to bring him knives to look at. He is the guy, the go-to guy. If you've got these vintage case collections, 300 knives will come in. You know, 300 to 600 to sometimes only 100 case knives, all just have been in these case books. And he has to go through and categorize them and make bids on it. And it's a lot of shit. It takes a lot of time. It's kind of like doing a takeoff on a house plan, if you've ever done that. He's having to look at each one of these knives, how old they are, so he can make a fair offer and get the collection and still be able to turn it and make some money. But I respect him for that. I just wish I understood more about slip joints. I've heard great things about him. Brody. Most of the people around are great people. They're all different, and they all have their own personal, we all have our own personal quirks and things, but not everybody's honest as hell, though. So yeah, he's a good one. When you find a good one, trust but verify. and then hang on to them, because I've met some of my favorite humans in this community, in live streams, at Blade Show, after, meeting the people that I've known in live streams, but it's all been parasocial till we meet and have dinner together. I know the feeling, brother. I haven't been on a slip joint kick. I got over it. I bought some slip joints, kind of wet my whistle, got over it, quit buying them, quit really looking at them. And now I've been around all these cases. None have appealed to me except one. And I didn't buy it. It's right here. Check this little one-bladed knife out. It's a deep hollow grind. Micarta. It's called the Bone Stag Barlow, the GE Bone Stag Barlow. I think that's wrong. I think I read that off a different box, because that's sure as fuck not Bone Stag. But what do y'all think about that little Warncliffe? For some reason, it speaks to me. I'm afraid I'm going to end up with it. We only have one, so I'm hoping somebody will buy it. Another cool thing is, I don't know if I'll do it this week. Probably do it since I'm not working this week. Next week, I'm going to register with Benchmade as an employee. They were telling me about that today, which gives me some really good deals on Benchmades if I want them. And I think the other company that you can register with, I can't remember. It's interesting. Some of the companies, because we carry Benchmade, ProTech, Microtech, Cold Steel, Kershaw, Case, and then a mishmash of a ton of other stuff. But the margins are different all across the board. And the way that they do business is different all across the board. Some of them you just get what you get. And, some of them you get online and you replenish your inventory the way it kind of should be. But it's interesting to see kind of the struggle. The struggle's real trying to run a brick and mortar business. They don't even have a website. They've got an Instagram page, but they haven't been that active on it. I don't think it has 100 followers yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop their Instagram in the chat and ask y'all to follow it. Don't. So here is Knives and More Instagram. Click on that and give them a follow. They've got right now 161 followers. See a lot of my posts and a lot of their earlier posts. But they carry cool shit. You can see some of their estate stuff, those big knife rolls laid out with him appraising them and stuff like that. Very cool stuff. Because, you think about it, you get a collection that comes in with 200 knives that you've got to date, authenticate, and put a number on. Some of the collections he's bought are in the six figures. Just one estate collection. Because people gobble that shit up. People gobble up the little trucks, the little box sets that have the case with the Lowe's logo on it. It's nuts. And we just got a laser engraver because we're going to use it for, I want Shane to use it for his maker's marks because it works really well. But they're going to use it to put, people want shit on blades. Billy, congratulations on graduating. Luke, we're glad you got out of prison. And we can do that shit now. They even put a graphic in the button of a pyrite. That's how precise this laser is. It does really cool shit. It did this. Let's see if I can reach it without knocking over all this stuff. Most importantly, without Huck taking my hand off. Oh, there it is. So that's done with the laser in metal, in black metal. But it does different colors. Cool stuff. They've got a medium blaster down there. He sharpens knives. They do all kinds of stuff. It's interesting. I mean, I'd say that most people that come in there on the regular are rich wives and husbands bringing kitchen knives in to have them sharpened. Before Thanksgiving, it was crazy how many people were bringing knives in for Thanksgiving to have them sharpened. Chefs, you name it. They're the go-to sharpening place. They're not sending their stuff to my brother Kyle. That sucks. So did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? I'm sure a lot of people traveled. I'm sure a lot of people are still traveling. I did not leave. I was off yesterday, off Wednesday. I'm always off Wednesday. And then work today, and then I'm going to chill tomorrow and Sunday. I say chill. I've got some shit to do tomorrow. It's going to suck, but I'm going to do it. What's up? Space Ghost, Westby, 123. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Well, I've heard through one of the boards that YouTube was doing this to try to get people from being able to create a bunch of aliases that are getting banned in a live stream and then go back into somebody else. I don't know if that's true, because that was just people wondering why it stuck longer this time, because for a while they rolled it out and then it went away. Paul Mills got notified by Hinder Knives. He just released 4 or 5 customs. I wonder if those are on their site. Hinder Knives, Ohio. Another thing I've noticed is Hinderers have been staying in stock a lot more. You can go on Hinderer's site now, and there are a shitload of Hinderers to choose from. You couldn't do that before. Our society must be collapsing. YouTube terms of service. Let's see if we got some customs up here. I wonder if they were signature series. Those are 1,000, so that's not it. It must be the custom series. See how much the custom. No, Puck. Please don't bite me. I've got a feral cat scratching around at me, making the weird meow sounds like he wants to go out and callivant. I'm not going to let him. So these are $9,000 and $10,000. Here's the auction for a Battle Blackwood resin hybrid for $9,100. This custom full track went for $6,100. Yeah. They're bringing the cash. But yeah, I didn't know Rick did stuff that bougie, but that's pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah, they do. They because there's so many collectors that regardless of what happens, they're going to be buying knives. I see them. They're engineers. A lot of them work at NASA. We have a lot of people. I've met 3 now that split time between being a military contractor for the US government, but they live in Australia. And Australia has horrendous knife laws, terrible knife laws. Like they can't carry shit. And so what he's doing is he's there buying knives that he's going to kind of take back and not carry. You know, he just wants to have some different knives. And these are military people. And they can't carry knives. And he says it sucks because the teens and they call them the crazies, are just using machetes. He talked about how well pew pew control worked over there. Not very, because crazy people still going to try to kill you. Paul, I think it's relative. I think that's the stretch I probably couldn't even make what you made. But I think if I, for some reason, hit the lottery or had, you know, several million in the bank, I think I could eclipse that, because I know I spend too much money on knives. And if I had the money, I would probably go for some of the stuff that attracted me. But the knife you got is a one of a kind, dude. That thing is amazing. Amazing. I don't know what it costs, but I know it looks like it's worth $1 million. It looks just awesome. That's the way I am, Sierra Rick. I love seeing, we've got a Benchmade Bally Song with a blue blade, like 10 of 100 from the 90s. It's like 10 grand. And then we've got a couple of Gold Series Bally Songs that are Damasteel and fat carbon fiber that are like 1,800. There's a lot of plus $1,000 knives down there, and not a lot of plus 10,000, but they exist. Those are such pretty knives, and again, not a useful necessarily knife for me, but just so beautiful. That and the Hawk, not the Deadlock, the Talon. Yeah, the Hawk Deadlock is a fantastic knife. I like the manual that he does. What's it called? And I apologize for my nose running, guys. It's about 60 degrees in my house because my heat's not working and I'm not sitting by my heater. So I'm sitting here freezing my nuts off. I'm literally like a scared turtle drawn up inside. It's so cold. But we're going to be just fine. I'm going to put on some background music. Give us a little mood here. A little mood music. Where is it? I don't want any of this AI music. I want something low key. Where is it? This is the one I want. All right. It does, Rhodey, but I think people like Gavin and people like Craig Brown, these other really advanced knife makers are using a lot of the same technology. No, it happened with Hobeck. So it could happen with anybody. Whoa. Yep, Knife Center does have one. Let me pull that up. I hate Knife Center. I don't go there much. But I did see Hawk. What are you doing, Puck? No, don't walk on the soundboard. I apologize in advance. Fuck. Hold on. Hawk. Gavin. Oh, there's several of them here. All right, let me share. I just think this is a sexy knife. Button lock. Yeah, I think that's just too cool for school. $1,095. They got 4. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think it's just him and a couple of people. They don't, and they also, my big problem with them when I was buying a shitload of knives, I used to buy a lot of knives from Knife Center, but Knife Center and Blade HQ kind of got me. I doubt the camo carbon's made in the USA. I don't think, because I know TRM says all their all their carbon fiber comes from Lithuania, but camo carbon I'm not sure about. But Knife Center and Blade HQ, I'd order something and it would sit in order processing for like 2 days before it ever even left their facility. If I order from DLT or from River's Edge Cutlery, if I order before noon, it's definitely shipping that day. If nothing else, it'll have a label on it if I order at 5. Hey, Rody, are you on Instagram? DM me and tell me what you're dealing with. I don't know if I can help, but I can try to steer you. I don't have any connections there, but if it's egregious, I can make a video about it. I don't know. Let me go to his site. Let's go to Hawk's site. He's very transparent, so I'm sure everything's laid out here. Let's see if I can go to About Us. Design. The Talon. Not going to nice on detent, smooth and reliable, blah, blah. Variety of exotic carbon fiber overlays. I don't see frequently asked questions or anything like that. Oh, there it is. There's frequently asked questions. Hold on. I'm going to share when I get to something, guys. Hold on. Do you have a warranty? Can you fix knives? Making more. We can do more of these. It doesn't say about the parts. Let me go to their blog. Puck, no. You can't walk on that. No, sir. Stay the fuck back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fighting a feral cat. Off the left side of the screen here. No. You can't come walking across that all the time. Lay down. I don't know if we have any camo carbon or any carbon fiber that's made here. And the only reason I say that is because on TRM's page, they say everything is sourced in the U.S. except for all of their carbon fiber, which they source through Lithuania, which I guess is a friendly trade partner. I don't keep up with global economics as much as I should. But anywho, but still, if it was an issue, I had an issue with Atlantic Knife Company. I bought 2 knives from them. The first I had no issue with. It was a CMB Predator. And the second was, it was supposed to be a titanium pyrite, but it had just a titanium skin over the steel scales. And I found out it was a prototype from Russell that should have never been sold. So I put them on blast and I won't do business with them. So one bad experience, even if you get it resolved, if it's handled shittily, or if they make you work for it, I think that's just a fail. And yeah, I won't go back and do business with those type of companies just because there are other choices. I will sometimes go to Blade HQ to look at knives, like to get specs off knives. And I have an affiliate code with Blade HQ because I can go to Blade HQ right now and show you how much money I spent there. So, I mean, I was a customer probably for the first 2 years that I was buying knives. It was pretty much all Blade HQ and Knife Center. But I didn't know about the others. Let's see if I can log in. If you remember my, it's not having me in the passwords. I don't have my password keeper here. Oh, well. I can't log in, but I was a huge supporter of Blade HQ and Knife Center. I used to buy from them, like I say, almost exclusively because I was watching their content on YouTube, and that's where I was kind of getting my hype on knives. I hadn't really discovered content creators yet. I hadn't discovered Lefty yet, who's cost me a shitload of money, but I've gotten some good knives. I've never gotten a bad knife that I was hyped by Lefty because a lot of them he hated, the knives that I ended up liking. But I just kind of knew his style and knew what he liked. So it was easy for me to kind of gauge if the knife was for me. And the great thing about most of these stores is if you get a knife in and it's not what you thought it was, nothing has to be wrong with the knife. It just is not the knife for you. You can return them in most cases. And that's a good thing. Sometimes it's for store credit. You know, they'll give you that value to get another knife, which is not ideal. I'd rather have the cash back, but it's better than having to be stuck with a knife that you thought you wanted, that you bought, but you don't like. Keeps you from having to go to the secondary. I don't have the worst customer service issue I had, and it was just their policy, was with KnifeWorks. When I got my first Grail at the time, it was a Benchmade 940. I'd been wanting one forever. And I finally ordered one right around Black Friday. They had a Black Friday sale. And it took 7 weeks to get from Louisiana to me. It was lost forever. And finally, I kept wanting to file a claim. And they said, no, we got to give it this amount of time, which their time frame, 7 fucking weeks. And I didn't get it. So I don't do business with them either, unless I need a Ritter Hogue, which I don't because I have 3. But they're pretty cool. Now hold on for 2 seconds. I'm going to run over here and grab something. I could serve you an ad, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. My nose is freaking pouring. It's just running like a son of a bitch. What am I going to do about that? I'm just going to sit here and suck it up. Yeah, the small ones it's kind of like a small maker. They seem to value the relationship. I read an article, this is random, but it was on Instagram, and it was a success story about Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz-Carlton was losing business. Everything was going shitty. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, he rests, and he's never required to be here. It's always just, if you got time, buddy, jump on. And I know he's been recovering from the funk. But this article talked about the Ritz-Carlton and how they were trying to redo a plan to regain, because their stuff's really expensive, but to regain their market share. And one of the managers realized that it was the customer experience, but it was also the employees being empowered. So they gave the employees the ability to issue concessions or comps up to $2,000 without having to get any clearance if somebody had a problem. The average payout when there was a problem was around $100. And the average customer at a Ritz-Carlton, I didn't know this, spends about $200,000 a year at Ritz-Carlton. So it must be a business class or a jet setting class that's staying at all the Ritz-Carlton. But they appreciate that kind of treatment. And the employees, by giving that power, were able to give the customers a better experience, not because they could say, I'll take care of that, but because they felt more empowered to be better employees. It's just, I think, a philosophy that gets lost in corporate America, but it works very, very well. Don't look at the numbers on a spreadsheet. Look at your people. That's my soapbox. Swing. But so what I was going to talk about also was steel and super steels and the steels that we all kind of covet and talk about, and trying to figure out how many people that are out there actively buying knives are in any way plugged into YouTube and people talking about stuff like that. And I think it's a very small percentage. And the reason is I deal with people coming in, and where I see it a lot is in the case knives, which I can understand because the age of the people buying those. But like the new Benchmade tagged out is in LMAX. And I have hunters that come in looking at that knife. And I talk to them about LMAX and some of the properties of LMAX that make it special. And they look like I've shined a light in their eyes. I had a dude come in from the utility company Tuesday, and he had a Griptilian that he was thinking about replacing. We had the same Griptilian. His Griptilian was about half as tall as the one I had because he'd sharpened about half of the blade off. He'd had it for over 10 years. So these people are using their knives. They're just getting a lot of use out of S30V. And don't want to pay an extra $100 for S90V and G10. They just don't. So it's interesting. And a lot of them like to sharpen on Arkansas stones. We don't have a lot of diamond stones down there, but we sell a lot of like what you sharpen 1095 on. So my theory or my hypothesis is that the majority of knife community people, or knife people that buy and work with knives aren't as hung up about blade steels as some of us are that are collectors that might not use them as much. Only because they don't have the information. And if you sit there and start talking metallurgy with a knife guy who's not kind of aware of who Laren Thomas is or the quest for the best knife steel, that's stuff we know about. That's not stuff that everybody that has a knife really thinks about. You know, this 1095's worked forever. You know, good enough for my daddy, it's good enough for me type shit. And there's some truth to that, depending on what you like. You know, I know a lot of people that come down there and they're usually older, but they're always buying sharpening supplies. This one old guy sharpens knives for all his friends, doesn't charge a thing, but for him, sharpening on a bench stone is just therapeutic. He loves doing it. And he doesn't want to sharpen S110V on a diamond. So some of them, I guess my point is, look at it as a bad thing as opposed to a superior product. That's probably true. And a lot of those guys hear about it through the same channels, through their Instagram pages, somebody they follow, because they're all connected somehow socially to the knife community to look at knives, but not as many of them. Because I ask them, do you watch YouTube videos on knives? And most of them are like, no. Never have. I was like, well, if you're ever interested in a knife, YouTube's the third largest search engine, or the second. It's not just a video platform. Go in there and search it, and you can look at it and watch it, how it works before you buy it if you can't go handle one. And oh, I didn't know that kind of content existed. I like their channel. I have a hard time understanding them, but I like watching what they do, and I think they're very good at it. Advanced Knife Bros, another one of my favorites. That's another thing I'm wrestling with, because my videos get proportionately really low views, and a lot of that's because the videos are kind of shitty, but I think a lot of it too is I might be posting too much. I might be putting too much content out, which for me, I've always thought a long form video a day at least. But I'm still, and I'll announce it when I look at different directions of the channel, because I'm probably going to change some things in 2026 just to try to make it a better experience for everybody and make better content that people want to watch, or find out a way to make my thumbnails better, or whatever it is. I don't know what the situation is. I think it could be because I've just got so much content that I put out. My shorts kill, and that could be it too, that a lot of my audience is shorts viewers only, kind of like the people that are over on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Brand new American channel member, what's up, buddy? I haven't put it out yet, but tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. there will be a members live stream, a secret word game for an hour, right under an hour, kind of a thank you stream. So if you're around tomorrow between 2:30 and say 3:40, pop into the live, put down the word that's shown, and you do not have to be present to win. Why are you coming this way now? You're knocking stuff over, Puck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, it's Puck. Puck is sitting in front of the black light now. That's why there's no black light on the wall behind me. That's got to be hot, Puck. I don't know why I ever let this cat in the house. He was cute, and he looked like he needed to be in there. Look at that paw. He's going to start shoveling knives off of there because that's where he wants to lay. Motherfucker. Yeah, I'm going to let y'all just enjoy my chaos. All right, he's crouched down over here in the corner. Now he's going to push off the drop bear. See that belly? That little bastard was starving about 4 weeks ago. Now he thinks he owns the place. Fucking punk. But I'm having a mocha. I'm getting ready to switch it off to a Barry Jones THC cane sugar soda. They're delicious. If you've ever had a Jones soda with real cane sugar, these are those with a little something something to relax you. Thanks, Sierra Rick. I wasn't a cat person. The weird thing is, Tippy, the cat that's been living with me forever, was my daughter's cat. Tippy ran away for like 6 months, or escaped, got lost or something. In the meantime, my daughter was getting ready to graduate high school, and her boyfriend at the time got her a black cat, a rescue cat. So then my daughter was on Facebook 6 months after Tippy disappeared. Tippy showed up. Tippy was 8 miles away. And that was about the time we were separating. And so Tippy came and lived with me and has been with me ever since. And then Puck just showed up like a month and a half ago, maybe. And the reason he's called Puck is I'd get that canned sauteed cat food that Tippy won't touch. She just looks at me like, fuck you when I put it out. I'd put that out, the whole puck, and he would come over there. He was a little guy, and he would just lay down flat and eat the whole thing. He would take huge bites. I've never seen cats take big bites. I've seen lions, when they're eating animals, take big bites. But Puck would gobble that shit down, and he'd come by every night at like 8 o'clock, like clockwork, and he'd eat a plate of that shit and then leave. And then one night he followed me inside, and he didn't leave. And he's very aggressive. He talks with his mouth, not just vocally. He'll come up and bite at you. And I used to, still do, but I've got my sharpening squirt bottle that's got soap, baby oil, and water mixed in it. And so I'd pick it up and I'd squirt it at him. And the first couple of times he'd run off. Well, now he's kind of like a dog when you spray a hose at him in the summer. He's chomping at that shit, trying to get through it to get to me. When he's ready to go outside, he's ready to go outside. He's an intimidating bastard. Because he's still wild. I mean, he's I think, grateful to be here. I think he digs being able just to chill and eat. But at the same time, he's got that fuck you mentality because he's got to get his balls cut off. That's the problem. I've got to take him and have him. And I know it's got to be done. But I've still kind of been seeing if he's going to make the cut, which I think he is. I mean, he's a good cat. But he does have just some really impressive balls, and I'm sure they're driving his bad decision making when he comes in smelling like cigarettes with glitter all over him. I know he's been where he shouldn't be. Henry, what's up? But yeah, guys, tomorrow at 2:30, I'll put a live up later this evening, and it'll be ready to go. I usually try to jump in there about 2:20 just to let people start, because Ron Crow goes live at, I think, at 3. And I always try to funnel people after you put the word in, because I'm just kind of ramble for an hour because I've exhausted everything knife related, usually on Friday night, unless I get something in the mail Saturday, which I'm not expecting anything that I can unbox or something like that. Something new to talk about. Mikey Bobby, what is up? Hello, hello. Henry, good to see you, my friend. Good to see everybody on this Friday night, this cold Friday night in my house. It's very cold in my house. But I guess Shane had to drop off. So it's probably just going to be solo me. But I am going to open. You should change his name to Shane. No doubt. Puck just kind of stuck because that's what fuck. I knew that was going to spew on me. Motherfucker. Not you. I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you. What are you doing? All right. This is getting ready to get awkward. Ow. Puck is now in my lap, making pancake biscuits in my leg. Hey, Puck. Hey, bud. I'm sending Maddie a link right now. I usually always send Maddie and Stevie. Let me do it. Invite guest. Copy. I've got sticky right hand that I'm using my mouse with because this fucking soda came all over it. Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna have to wash my hand after this. Now give me 2 seconds. Maddie got a link. Boom. All right, guys. I can't get up because I got a cat in my lap. How do I get my hand not to? Hey, Puck. You want to see Puck? Well, he's laying down. I'm going to let him lay. He just gave me a love bite in the thigh. That's how he communicates. Why are you biting me, buddy? Holy shit. Holy shit. Maddie goes live in a little while. Guys, be sure to go to said faction. Not sure whose channel it's on tonight, but I will look. It's on Maddie's. Maddie, whose channel is it on tonight, brother? Whose channel is said faction on this lovely Friday? Down, bud. You lay down, little buddy. Thank you, Marco. So they're live in 59 minutes over on Said Stevie's channel. So I'll keep that up so I can kind of watch it. I wish I had a camera that pointed down to my lap. Because almost enough time to poop. Come join me, Maddie. You can jump on and say hey and give me a hard time for not sending your prick out yet. But Shane hadn't made it up here since he's been getting x-rays and stuff. Sierra Rick, I love my cats, dude. I respect them for what they are, and Puck is a predator, and he like preys on me sometimes. He'll follow me around, stalking me, and then he'll go at my ankles and shit. I guess he's playing, but it's painful. I love him, dude. I'm an animal person. I had a German Shepherd mix for 13 years. She passed away when I was at Blade Show 2 years ago. Right at the couch where we slept, where we hung out. And I wasn't here. That kind of breaks my heart, but passed peacefully. And I hadn't had it in me to get another dog, but Tippy's probably 11. And I'm guessing Puck's maybe 9 months. I don't know. He's a younger cat. And I think he'll come around. I think when he gets demanly, he'll be much happier. He'll feel much less driven, so to speak. But right now, like I say, he'll go out for 48 hours. And I know he's hanging out with somebody. Somebody that's furry, that's not feeding him because he comes back hungry as shit and tired. I know the life. I used to run like a cat when I was younger. Meow. Where in the world? There they are. I wish y'all could see him. I mean, he's just like not really laying in my lap. He's kind of like trapping me. He's kind of like got me trapped because he's got both of his front paws not making my leg bleed, but he's through the jeans. He's holding on to my jeans. And he doesn't have to be holding on to my jeans. He's doing that to fuck with me. Because he can probably feel my nervous energy with his whiskers. Because if y'all didn't know, I'll drop some fact bombs on you. Scientists think cats could be the most perfectly genetically engineered animals on the planet. Not just house cats, all cats. They've got an elastic spine. That's why they can fall from 6-7 stories and run off. They always land on their feet. Their whiskers are like radar. They see perfectly fine in the dark. And if they were as big as us, they would be just stacking us up like they stack chipmunks up because they're natural predators. I didn't know this, but when a cat walks like in the sand or in the snow, you would think it would leave 4 footprints because it's got 4 legs. It leaves a straight line of prints because it steps in its own prints. It walks like it's on a balance beam. And they do that for a couple of reasons. One, it makes them quieter when they're stalking shit, and it makes it harder for shit to stalk them. But they put one foot in front of the other, and if you watch them walk in the snow, they're only leaving a single set of tracks. Whoa! Holy shit. I've got open drinks over there. Oh, Lordy. Shit is getting real. Shit is getting real at Friday Night Flicks. Knives are coming off the table. Puck is restless as fuck. He's about to swat at me. He could care less about my knives. Absolutely brand new American. And the other thing they like is they really don't like to drink out of a glass or out of a bowl. They rather drink out of a faucet. Tactical Terry, I do. I mean, I'm bad. Wax wing. All right, guys. I did review these knives, and these are very cool, thinly ground, fantastically priced, USA made, little giblets. I love the Maverick for $1.25. I love the Nymph with the kind of reverse tanto, the Chitin with a drop point. You've got some wonderful blades. Just absolutely stunning. And they're all small. And y'all click on Richard's link. I can throw this one up here because he didn't leave a link. Here you go. But I'm a big fan in wax wing knives. I've not used one hard, but I have played with one, cut paper with one, and you can tell by looking at the grinds on those, they're very thin and very slicey, and they're small. And they're unique. Nitro V. They do. They do, but if you're there at the drop, even if you don't get one tomorrow, typically on a real popular seller like Steingraber, like Lamia's, after about 3 drops, you can usually get one. That's about the average. That doesn't mean everybody does. Some people, it takes a lot longer because it is a kind of a random game and how fast your cart, you can get it set up to where you can check out quick. But the other side I wanted to go to, I wanted to see if Jared or Jacob had dropped anything at Very Good Knife Company. I think on Fridays is when he does most of his drops. I've kind of been out of the loop. I've seen him on Instagram. Let's go to store. Looks like he's got quite a bit of knives in stock. Rambler, I'm not familiar with the Rambler or the Heritage. These look like new designs. Like Kerry Bushcraft. $7.75. A big for me. But all of these knives are in stock. Heritage. Wasp is a little guy. That's one of his. The Mantis. In burgundy, micarta is in stock. That's a little flat ground sheep's foot that I think is gorgeous. It's only 6 3/4 inches long. And Jacob's sheaths are top of the line. He puts enough rivets in it to use any type of mounting method you want. Mounting method. I was seeing if he had any Traditions or Tradition Juniors. Tradition Junior. Probably one of the sexiest grinds. You won't really be able to see it on this black as much. That DLC coating. But it looks like at Very Good Knife Company, There are several ramblers, bigger tributes. This knife is huge. I mean, huge. That thing is 12.5 inches, over a foot long. That's a beast of a Wharncliffe. Heritage and Nitro V. How long is that little trailing point? That one is 8 inches, so that's a little big for me. I would go with the Wasp or the Mantis. The Wasp is 6 3/4, same size as the Mantis. But Jacob makes some wonderful knives. This First Strike's a new design, kind of a tactical, kind of a trench knife. And it's a big bitch too. It's 11 inches. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat. Link in the chat. Link in the chat. Get me back to page 1. Link in the chat. Oh, shit. Or copy. Stop sharing. And paste. Hey, Richard, what's the name of that little tiny knife again that you gave me, that you were kind enough to give me? That little bitty guy, the little fully metal one? The maker. I always forget, and I haven't done a short with it because I couldn't remember. And I went through Instagram, and I meant to text you and ask you. You know the one I'm talking about? It's this one. This little guy. Who makes that? I love this little knife. Laser Ghost Knives, aka Donnie Bless. What is up, brother? So, Richard, who's that again? This little scalpel? Good to see you, Donnie. Happy Friday to you, my brother. We've been talking about Paul's knife. Did I lose Richard? The Chunky Mini by Lex Rex. That's who it is. All right, I gotta write that down. Lex Rex. I know I'm following him on Instagram. Hold on a second. I'm over here in the Instagram world real quick, guys. Make sure I am following him. Lex. Yep. Nope, that's something different. Lex Rex. There we go. Jordan Hines. So guys, I'm going to share this page with you so y'all can help me if Richard's not in here and I forget again, because I will. I think I have early dementia. But he makes really cool knives. He makes little guys and he makes big guys. And they're done very well. Kind of rustic. And look, he's got a couple cats. Look at those handles. Very cool stuff. But does these little tiny knives. I'm going to go to his website. Stop sharing and start sharing again. Boom, boom. X-Rex. All right, well, that's kind of exciting. But not shit's happening on his site. Get that UTM code off there so I won't track it. There we go. So this is like a longer one. This is $70. This little scalpel. 5 inches overall. Nitro V. And then he's got all kinds of cool little knives. And bigger knives. And all these are handmade. But these little scalpels are freaking sweet. And I don't think the one Nitro V Chunky, I think it's a micro. These look longer. But all of them are $70 in Nitro V. I'm going to drop him in there for you kids in case you're interested. Chunky scalpel is an oxymoron. I should say mini scalpel. But that's an absolute oxymoron because scalpels are supposed to be thin. The browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen and see if it continues. What's that mean? Tommy, can you see me? Tommy, can you hear me? But Donnie, you're exactly right. That's the wrong thing. It's a mini micro. A mini micro. And the report, Puck has not knocked any of the knives off yet. Well, he's about to. Okay, boy. Is Maddie still in here? I wonder if they've got any, who else joining them for said faction tonight. Probably be Sharif. All right, now he's coming after me. He made himself at home there, Donnie. This is that little feral bastard that followed me inside about 2 weeks ago and only leaves for 48-hour sabbatical chasing pussy because he's still got very, very large furry nuts. Don't blame him, but he's using me. He's crashing on my couch, so to speak, while he runs hoas. Comes in smelling like cheap whiskey, cigarettes with glitter all over him. What's interesting, even if I started with him outside, because he would not even get close to me, but I would sit outside when he would eat because I'd feed him on the porch once a day and I just talk to him. And he was skittish as fuck. But when he came in, he used the litter box right away. I got a second litter box, which makes me feel like an old cat dude, which I guess I am. But he's been a good cat, except for the fact that he bites. He doesn't break the skin, but he could if he wants to. I think he's letting me know. But it's best not to let feral ones inside. I just didn't want him to continue just roaming the neighborhood because he seemed like I've never adopted a cat like at a shelter or anything. My daughter, when she was 2, wanted a cat, and we were thinking we were going to go adopt one. And I'll be damned if a kitten didn't show up at our house like a week later and then disappear for a month and come back where it was big enough to come in and be Brittany's first cat, Tinkerbell. And then Tippy, my ex-wife rescued off the car lot. She was the last kitten that didn't get run over on University Drive, Highway 72. And Tippy lived in the laundry room for 2 weeks because she was feral as fuck. She was tiny. So you'd walk in there and she might be as big as sitting in your hand, but would climb your leg, like would just try to climb up you. And its claws were just crazy. And then Taz showed up at a cabinet shop I worked at back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I brought him home from Arab. I didn't know any better. He was a little kitten that had been hanging out for a couple of days. And he was a bobtail cat, a little yellow bobtail cat. I didn't have a cat carrier. So he was kind of friendly. So after work one day, I picked him up and I put him in a cardboard box, a big box, set him in the back seat and started driving from Arab to Huntsville, which is about a 35-minute drive. Well, about right before I crossed the Tennessee River Bridge into Huntsville, I felt him run up. He'd gotten out of the box, ran up between my legs and was standing looking at me in the floorboard. I'm going 65 by the brake and the gas pedal. He's looking up at me and he's got fucking froth coming out of his mouth like he's gone full rabid. So I freaked out and I called my buddy whose house I was about. He lives way south of me. So I was about to pass his house. He's kind of a cat person. Like, dude, are you home? He's like, yeah. I was like, I got to come by there. I've got a loose cat in the car. And when I got there and took Taz in, he drank a bunch of water and quit foaming at the mouth. And my buddy A to Z EDC laughed and was like, dude, he got car sick. When they get nauseous, that's how they get spit like we do that keeps coming up. They can't manage it. So he wasn't going full rabid. He turned out to be a great cat. He lived about 14 years and was probably responsible for the death of at least 10 cats. I mean, he was a fucking fighter, dude. He was an alpha apex. And that's coming from neighbors that would tell us, hey, man, I watched Taz fight a cat the other day, and I don't think the other cat made it. And I was like, I'm sure they did. Cats, they figure their shit out. Ooh, Predator XL. The Predator looks pretty large, Paul. How big is it? Looks like a full sizer. But I know y'all are talking about cat predators. I was talking about knife predators. But yeah, cats are definitely. Ooh. Nice. I like your profile picture. Oh, sweet, Richard. I will. It'll have to be after the live because my phone's pointing on my knives now that you can't see. Because Puck's asleep. How long do you think those will sit there? If I still drank, we could have a drinking game. Uh-oh. Stretch. They're gone. I would have lost that bet. I'm going to Google these, Cat Scratch, because I love different cats. That's what I use on all my thumbnails. AI creates. I go into my, I use two apps for my channel. Canva is what I use for my thumbnails. And then Bizarre is an app I use to take backgrounds out and do shit like that. It's kind of a point and click app, but it also allows you to do AI stuff. So I can open a blank picture and type in an angry cat and it'll give me pictures like my thumbnails. And then I'll pick one. It'll give me like 7. I'll pick a cat and then I'll take a picture of a knife so it looks like it's in his hand and I put it on all my thumbnails. So I guess I am kind of the cat guy. I come by that honestly, but I used to not be a cat guy. When I was a kid, that was one of my dad's trauma deals, and he was probably smart, but he didn't want pets. He'd had pets as a kid, and we didn't have pets. So my first dog I got when I was in college. My first cat when I was married, when I had a daughter. Now, we'd had a cat show up when I was a kid, and we ended up having to take it to the Humane Society because my dad didn't want to stay around. He was a prick. It's kind of funny that he's the source for so much of my trauma, and I'm taking care of him now. I mean, Karma's just a bitch for me. Donnie, they just want more of the fucking heat that you're putting out. Bigger's better, some people say. And I kind of have to agree. Although I like my size, I would hate to be a 6 foot tall guy and fly around in airplanes like I used to have to do for business. Being small has its advantages. It's got disadvantages too, because people can stomp the shit out of you. But, you know, there are ways around that. No, I love a big knife. I work with this guy who's also part-time down there. His name's Levi. And Levi goes to all the blade shows because he's going to buy like 5 or 6 knives and he's going to flip them. And he buys and carries some of the biggest knives I've ever seen. He's got some, Bob Tism's a new member. Bob, thank you, dude. You're going to see a members live stream that's going to pop up. It's tomorrow at 2:30. Please stop by. All you have to do is pop in, leave the secret word, and win something cool. We have really low turnouts, but I'm going to give you a thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, every Saturday we do a short live stream for members, and it's just a thank you. Great quote. It's exactly true. You fight on your own plane. That's exactly right. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's a fact, Jack. And the smaller you are, typically you're going to be quicker. And quickness helps because if nothing else, you can run the fuck away. I was on Twitter. I don't know if y'all ever go on X, but X shows some graphic shit like accidents, murders, stuff that closed caption. You can just be scrolling and you'll see. I saw a dude in India or somewhere walk up to another dude and he had like a little ceramic. You didn't even tell what he had in his hand, but he did this little double, like he squatted down and slashed and the dude fell backwards. It looked like he was just punching him around the knees. But this guy was like, knew how to use a karambit and dropped. And instead of punching the guy, he just went to the left, cut the back of his one knee. When it went back to the left, or it went to the right, cut the back of the left knee, went to the right, and just one punch and cut the back of the right knee. The guy fell over backwards, and then it was just over. I mean, it was definitely a fight to the death, and that dude came up on the bad side of it. But I would never, ever, ever. You are here, brother. You're safe. Alphabet is safe, and you can always cancel it and call it fraud. I never, ever, ever debate shit like that. If somebody super chats me and says it was a mistake, I just let it roll back. But do come by tomorrow, because like I say, we do a thank you every Saturday from about 2:30 to 3:30, and you don't have to be present to win. You just have to be present to put in the secret word. And usually there's a thumbnail up by now, but I did not get it done. What the fuck's Puck doing? Oh no. See how the knives have moved? I really think if aliens are amongst us, they could be cats. I didn't know this and don't know if it's true, but it came across my Instagram feed that cats, both cheetahs, mountain lions, house cats, cats are the only life form that has vertical irises when it gets dark, where their eyes go like slits. Well, reptiles do too. The only mammals. So, you know, cats have those funky looking, brand new American. I think more unknown shit is in the ocean than probably in space. What do y'all think about that Atlas 3 eyes? Anybody familiar with that weird comet / mothership that's been flying around that NASA talks about and then doesn't talk about? Sends off radio signals and changes course and does all kinds of weird shit that comets don't do. Tell me you have. Tell me you have. Kevin Smith and Knives. What is up, brother? Channel member. And there will be a live tomorrow. I've just not gotten the, I got home from work late today and I have not gotten the thumbnail up. So everybody carve out a little spot between 2:30 and 3:30 and pop in to say, what's the word, yo? You know, Sierra Rick, I agree. I think it's God's way of healing, because for me doing it, he's so much different now as he's exactly. I think there's a lot of BS with it. Because it even says on the post that it couldn't be verified. But I think there's something weird about it too. I think there's just weird stuff going on. And I think you can't tell what's real anymore. That's exactly right. And it's only going to get harder to determine what's real. Which makes you wonder how much of it's smoke and mirrors and a simulation type bullshit anyway. But it's definitely wild. And I think for me, it's a distraction, because I'm less concerned, even though I should probably be more panicked, of a bunch of people that traveled from far away coming here than some of the crazy shit going on around the globe here, you know, on our own planet. Some of the atrocities and horrible shit happening. This really happened since recorded history, I guess. We don't play well together as a species. Which, if you look at the animal kingdom, is kind of the same game there. They'll take each other out, the pecking order. Darwin's theory, yo. But you would think we would have all advanced out of that shit and realized that nothing good comes out of it. But evidently I think it's a financial instrument that's just fucked up. If y'all want to get into some interesting rabbit hole shit, Google Titanic conspiracy and how it coincides, who the people that were on the Titanic were that died. More importantly, the 5 people who canceled their trip the day before. And there is a lot of the World Bank, or the was getting ready to form, and all the people on the Titanic, which were all the elite, they would be billionaires today. They were the elite of the elite that were on the Titanic. They were all taken out because they opposed this World Bank merger thing that happened right then. And then the other part of the conspiracy is when they made the Titanic, they made 2. One was named something else, 2 luxury liners. Well, one of them got damaged, sunk, or cracked or something. And one of the theories is some of the remote cameras have gotten serial numbers off the Titanic that matched the other ship, that it was also insurance fraud. There's a lot of weird shit about the Titanic. Mainly the charter list, the people that were on it. And they had all were super opposed to the central banking system, which was happening right around that time. And they were all, you know, the movers and shakers. The Rothschilds was the guy that didn't get on. But if you look at really any historical event, and I know a lot of that sensationalism, there are things the older I get where I used to just say, no, that's too crazy to be real. You know, when you find out shit that was real, like I think now it's kind of, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that somebody here was responsible for Kennedy, that all that wasn't transparent. And the Jeffrey Epstein thing, I mean, there's some deep, deep shit there. Google Giselle Maxwell's dad. Read about that dude and what his role was. And he unfortunately passed away when he fell off his yacht. Assassinated. But yeah, there's some powerful people doing some fucked up, crazy shit. Huck, doing, buddy? But we don't need to talk about that. Bartender, please. Pour my wine for me. I know y'all hate Dave Matthews Band, but if you ever want to listen to a cool song, listen to Bartender by the Dave Matthews Band. It's a fucking killer. It's a good story. Puck either has gas or has shit and did not cover his shit with the Fresh Step as much as he should have. Because with my runny nose, I can smell it. Ugh. You know, bartenders are some of the most friendly people. When I used to go, I guess I had the best bar relationship because it was kind of like my local neighborhood bar when I was in college at Auburn. And I always would sit at the bar and talk to, I mean, it was just, I can't imagine. I think I'd enjoy being a bartender because I like people, but God, the shit they must hear. I know I dumped some shit on them. Exit only. Hey, Donnie's very, very sanitary and clean when it comes to that. He and I had a little disagreement one time about the pre-grooming rituals. Donnie's he's a clean freak. Nothing wrong with that. That's how he gets his knives so straight and so perfect. He ain't gonna do no nasty shit. Let's take a quick break.
There's too much water in that kettle. And now the lid's on crooked. And that means disaster for this lady. Because she is on a boat. Don't boil a kettle on a boat. There's too much water in that kettle. And now the lid's on crooked. And that means disaster for this lady. Because she is on a boat.
That makes me want to scream. When I was dating that girl after my marriage, we'd go to this bar. I didn't drink, but she liked to drink. So we'd go and she smoked cigars, believe it or not. It was a cigar bar in downtown Huntsville called SIP, S-I-P. And it was kind of a bar set up like a Roaring Twenties bar where they made like Manhattans and some of those drinks that they made back then. And like on Halloween, everybody dressed as gangsters. But it was a cool bar. And I always felt like I was getting screwed then because I always tip heavily bartenders. I was a waiter in college and my daughter's a waitress now, but I was always a big tipper. And when I drank, I had a agenda. You know, if I would tip, they would pour me heavy. You know, it was just, I'd always come in, they knew me, I'd tip heavy and I'd get poured heavy drinks. When you don't drink and you're buying beer for somebody, you're just being I guess, irresponsible tipper or a good person. I just feel bad. I feel like if somebody's doing something for me, I'm going to tip them. Now, when I go to the vape shop or you go any place now and use an electronic thing, they've got the tip option. I'm not tipping somebody if I walk in and buy something. Not because I don't love them. It's just because I think that's stupid. You bring me a drink or bring me a sandwich, give me a ride on an Uber, I'm going to tip you. Oh, Puck's over here, hardcore looking for food. Hardcore looking for food. I think it's because he just took a huge shit that he didn't bury fully, and he's trying to build up another one, trying to brew another huge shit. And that's just the joy of being a cat person. Not a cat owner, because I don't believe we're cat owners. I believe we're just temporary. They just use us for our food and our couches. So I'm checking something real quick. Oh, missed it. Go back. Bear with me, guys. We got 18 minutes. 18 minutes of said faction. We've been going for 2 hours and 56 minutes. I'm going to go for about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to rally over at said faction, if okay. I don't like to cut into their live. I usually sit on the couch and I'll eat something, so I'm quiet for the first 30 minutes. And 9 times out of 10, I fall asleep. I'll wake up and it's over. Because I sleep, like I say, in these 2 hour little increments. And I don't have to be quiet. I don't have to be tired at all. I can just sit there and listen to TV. And next thing I know, I just fall asleep. Like, it's kind of like narcolepsy. Just nod out. Nod the fuck out. I wish Shane was still in here and I could remember the name of those burgers in Huntsville. We've got the best burger place. Hold on. That's how we're going to end tonight. I'm going to make myself hungry and make y'all Jack Brown's. Do y'all have Jack Brown's where y'all live? It's a small, kind of like a gourmet burger place. Let's go to the website. Now, they've got some nasty burgers like Ryan Ellis likes where you can get an egg on it. I just get their double cheese. All right, so they're just in the southeast. Greenville, Harrison. If you see your city on here, roll your ass to Jack Brown's Burgers, because I'm going to show you. This is going to make you hungry. See, I don't like these big ones. But it's Wagyu, or what's that steak called that's Japanese? Wagyu, patty, top with American cheddar. The Frank Brady is house-made mac and cheese, 2 slices of American cheese, barbecue potato chips on a butter-toasted flip-flop bun. The Cobra Kai, Cowboy. I mean, they've got some wild ones. I think they got an Elvis. Hold on. The Elvis, creamy peanut butter, applewood smoked bacon, American cheese, and Duke's mayo, which all sound shitty. This one's got an egg on it, but just their regular burgers. Let me see if I can find a picture of one. We went with Richard and his lovely wife and Shane when they came up. But none of these look, I can't click on just like the cheeseburger, because the cheeseburger is a double. It's not all overkill, but you can get overkill burgers. Really interesting ones, though. Wild shit. So Jack Brown's, if you live in the Southeast or one opens in your area, go. And if you like burgers and you don't like Jack Brown's, send me the bill and I will PayPal you the cash. It's that good. Guys, it is time for us to part ways for a few days. And that rhymed, to go over to said faction. And any of you that are channel members, please stop by at 2:30 tomorrow. It will be cool. It will be short and it'll be worth your while. We always have 15, 20 people in there. So odds are great. We even got a game that if, it just stop by if you can. I'll put the thumbnail up in about an hour, within the hour. And it'll be at 2:30 tomorrow. Guys, thanks for hanging with me. Sorry nobody joined us, but that's okay. I had a blast. Do me a favor. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And always, if possible, choose debate, not hate. I love you guys. Peace.
Friday night fix is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about life, so what's on your mind? Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate.